The lady from the church asked me to pray for her husband's soul. I said, "Of course, when did he die?" And she answered, "Tomorrow." No child should die alone. That's why I decided to let my son invite some friends over. Someone started having a coughing fit at my workplace. The problem is that I work alone in a morgue. Never knock on your door from the inside at dawn. The devil can knock on the outside. These macabre stories and others that can't be told on the channel, you'll see in the Cursed ebook. The link is in the comments. Buy it now. In the sleepy town of Ravenswood, whispers of strange occurrences swirled through the foggy streets. The locals spoke in hushed tones about a forbidden book, its spine cracked and cover worn. It was said to hold the key to summoning entities from beyond the mortal realm. One evening, on the edge of town, a young woman named Clara stumbled upon it in the attic of her deceased grandmother's house. Clara had always been curious about the occult, her grandmother's dusty old books intriguing her. When she found this particular book, she couldn't resist its allure. The title, scrawled in faded red ink, read the rules before dating a demon. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, she opened the ancient tome. The book was filled with chilling illustrations and eerie instructions. Each page seemed to whisper secrets of forbidden love and perilous desires. Clara's heart raced as she read about the rules for dating demons, an experience that promised both pleasure and danger. She felt a strange compulsion to follow the instructions, a voice in her head urging her to explore further. The first rule warned against revealing personal details. Demons thrive on knowledge. It read, "The more they know about you, the easier it is for them to manipulate and control." Clara, already entranced, decided to ignore this warning, thinking she was above such deceptions. After all, how could a mere book dictate her fate? She followed the next rule, which instructed her to summon a demon with a specific incantation. In the dead of night, she recited the cryptic words from the book, her voice trembling but determined. As she finished, the room grew cold and an otherworldly presence filled the air. The shadows seemed to writhe and twist, forming a dark figure in the center of the room. The demon emerged, a tall, handsome figure with eyes that glowed like molten gold. He introduced himself as Asmodeus, a name that sent shivers down Clara's spine. Despite his charm and elegance, there was something unsettling about him. Clara tried to remind herself that she was in control, though the demon's presence was overwhelming. Asmodeus spoke with a voice that was both smooth and sinister. "I've been waiting for someone like you," he said. "Shall we begin?" Clara, driven by a mix of curiosity and desire, agreed to the terms of their arrangement. The rules were clear. Trust and boundaries were crucial, but the allure of the unknown was too powerful. The days that followed were a blur of intoxicating experiences. Asmodeus seduced Clara with promises of eternal pleasure and forbidden knowledge. Each encounter left her both exhilarated and exhausted. Yet there was an underlying darkness that she couldn't ignore. Her friends and family noticed her growing detachment, but Clara brushed off their concerns lost in the demon's web. One night, as she lay in bed alone, Clara read further into the book. The next rule struck her like a cold gust of wind. Beware the false promises of eternity. Demons are masters of deceit. Her heart sank as she realized the gravity of her situation. The pleasure she had sought was a mere distraction from the sinister reality of her relationship with Asmodeus. The following day, Clara attempted to confront Asmodeus about her growing fears. The demon, with a knowing smirk, reassured her that everything was fine. "You have nothing to worry about," he said. "But remember, there are always consequences to breaking the rules." His words were laced with a warning that Clara couldn't ignore. As the days turned into weeks, Clara's world began to unravel. She found herself isolated from her loved ones, her mind plagued by nightmarish visions. The demon's promises of eternal bliss seemed to fade, replaced by a gnawing sense of dread. The rules she had ignored began to haunt her, each one a reminder of her impending doom. Desperate to escape the demon's grasp, Clara turned to the book for answers. She discovered a final rule, one that had been buried among the pages. To break free, you must confront the demon and reclaim your soul. It will be a battle of wills, with your very essence at stake. Clara knew she had to act quickly, but fear held her in its icy grip. One fateful night, Clara faced Asmodeus, her heart pounding as she demanded her freedom. The demon's eyes narrowed, a cruel smile playing on his lips. "You cannot escape what you have invited," he said, "but I will grant you one final chance to prove your resolve." The room grew dark as their confrontation began, a battle of will and power that tested Clara's very soul. With every ounce of strength she had, Clara fought against the demon's influence. The struggle was intense, the air crackling with dark energy. In the midst of the chaos, she remembered the book's warnings and clung to her resolve. Asmodeus's power seemed to wane, his form flickering like a dying flame. Clara could feel the grip of his influence loosening. Finally, with a burst of determination, Clara recited the final incantation from the book, a plea for liberation. The room erupted in blinding light as Asmodeus let out a furious roar, his form dissolving into shadows. Clara collapsed to the ground, exhausted but victorious. She had freed herself from the demon's grasp, but the experience left her scarred. As Clara emerged from the darkness of her ordeal, she realized the truth of the book's warnings. Demons were not to be trifled with, their promises of pleasure masking a reality of manipulation and control. She vowed never to ignore such warnings again, knowing that some rules were meant to be heeded for a reason. The book was eventually lost to time, its pages a reminder of the perils of forbidden knowledge. Clara moved away from Ravenswood, her life forever changed by the encounter. In the quiet of her new home, Clara often reflected on her experiences. The lessons learned were harsh, but invaluable. She understood that some boundaries should never be crossed, and that true freedom came from respecting the rules of the supernatural world. The book's eerie warning had been more than just a guide, it was a lifeline to her very soul. Until next time, thank you.